Hey guys, it's Marcus and
Craig.
And then we are with the Horror Junkies of Utah, and today we're going to be talking about The Mist, both the movie and book, and we're going to do a kind of comparison and everything. I'll let Craig start us off here. Craig, what did you think of the book versus the movie, the two versions? What was similar and what was completely different?
I'd say like 95% of it is the same. If you were to see the movie first and then try and read the book, you would, if you didn't know if it was a Stephen King thing, you would probably think it was like a novelization of the movie, because that's just how much similar it is. Scenes, characters, the only main difference is the ending. The book ending kind of just leaves you hanging, kind of lets it be up to the viewer.
Yeah, like we won't ruin the movie ending for you, but it's probably my favorite ending in any movie that I've experienced so far. I just love it.
It is very controversial. Like, a lot of people hate it.
Oh, I know. And a lot of, what the fuck? You didn't follow the book at all. And it's like, wait, hey, you can't just end a movie like that, you know?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because Stephen King, he loves the ending of the movie.
I heard that.
And he said he wished he would have thought of that and wrote it in the book.
Yeah, definitely. The other main difference that I remember in the book is the lead character, John Drayton, Mr. Drayton. No.
David.
Yeah, it's David. Drayton's the asshole neighbor, right?
No, I think Drayton's is his last name, David.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. It's David.
The neighbor's
Drayton.
name is Norton.
There we go. Yeah, Norton is the neighbor. But in this, he ends up having sex in the supermarket with his newfound friend.
That's the first thing that pops in your mind. Oh, those are sex scenes. You little horn dog.
Hey, man, I remember, I'm like waiting for that in the movie. I'm like, when's this scene gonna come about? It never comes. But
yeah,
it's kind of one of those scenes where you're like, woo, you know?
Yeah, and David and Amanda in the movie didn't really get that way. They didn't have really a strong connection. They were just kind of survivors who were just kind of acquaintances, I guess you could say, but never really got that far with them. So
now the funny thing about this the movie is, if you're a Walking Dead fan, how many characters are there in this movie that are from The Walking Dead, the TV series?
Yeah, so basically, kind of going with that, the reason there's so many Walking Dead characters is Frank Darabont, the guy who directed, wrote, and produced The Mist, the movie. He's actually the one who developed the first season of Walking Dead. Originally, I thought there was 3, but there's actually 4 characters from The Walking Dead. You got Laurie Holden, who plays Andrea. You got Melissa McBride, who plays Carol. Then you got Jeffrey DeMunn, who does Dale. And then the 4th one, he's very secret. I didn't notice him at first. He's kind of just an extra. His name is Juan Poraya. He plays Morales in Walking Dead, the first season. So, yeah, pretty cool.
In the book, we have Mrs. Carmody, and she's kind of portrayed as a very old, raggedy religious freak. And in the movie, she's a little younger, I think she's a lot more cuckoo in the movie, in my opinion. But I haven't read the book in quite a while. It's been a couple years.
I read the book just a few months ago and watched the movie.
Similar?
They're pretty similar. The only difference is the age. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But she's lived in the town for quite a few years, and everybody knows she's crazy. But basically, for those who haven't seen the movie, this lady, Mrs. Carmody, she's just this crazy lady. She's kind of really religious, and when the survivors are in the grocery store holding up, she's the one who kind of sets everybody apart and kind of forms a congregation and thinks that the whole mist thing is the freaking revelation and end of days and all that fun stuff. And it gets closer crazy to the point where she almost wants to, like, sacrifice someone. And, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, it kind of... The movie and the book really, you know, you have the monsters and you have the mist and you have all this mystery going on. But the thing that really strikes me is that that's not the stuff that you're really worried about. It's how people are reacting to it. And it shows you, like, what the fuck do people do when they're in a position to where...
It's almost like the monsters aren't the threat. It's the
It's
people.
yeah, I mean...
I'm more afraid of crazy people and are the freaking big, huge monsters out there.
And you got, like, the people that turn to whoever... Like, I love it when she's... In the movie, it's like, they'll turn to her because she's provided an answer, and you slowly see one person, then three, then five, and then by the time the movie's towards the conclusion, it's almost like she has everyone in the store, and there's only a couple level-headed people in there, which was pretty interesting in my opinion. It's like, is that how it would really go in real life? And it probably would, you think about it, but...
So, for those that might not have seen the movie, they might be kind of getting confused. Let's kind of go over kind of like a basic plot line.
Basically, we have our main character, and he lives out on a lake, and he does like, he's an artist, and the movie opens up with him actually painting a bunch of movie posters. Yeah. And the cool thing in there is one of them, if you're not a fan of, it's a Stephen King book, but The Dark Tower, he's painting like a movie poster for that. So it's like, wow, is that Dark Tower coming to, eventually get a film debut? And the other one, I think, wasn't it?
The Thing.
The Thing, John Carpenter's. Yeah, so that was really cool, like a shout out to both those artists and everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
And basically, so you have... a storm comes through and kind of ravages hell on this small town.
Knocks out all the power, and then everybody's kind of in shambles because the power's out, and there's a big storm, so they're all going to the grocery store to stock up. And that's when the mist comes.
Something in the mist took John Lee!
Yeah. And there's this big, huge mist that's covered the... town, and there's monsters in it and stuff like that.
Now, quick question before we continue on the plot, though. Did you read the book first or watch the movie?
I read the movie first.
You read the movie?
I mean, I watched the movie. I probably saw the movie like 10 times before
you read the book.
Yeah.
And I actually read the book
first
and then
really?
seen the movie, yeah. I was in the... Where was I? Barnes & Noble. I was browsing through the Stephen King section, and I knew The Mist was coming out on DVD soon. I didn't go see it in theaters. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick up this book, and I'm going to read it before it comes out. We were still in high school back then.
Yeah, I've done that before with a book. Do you remember that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Shutter Island?
Yeah.
I read the book first because I saw it. I was like, hey, isn't this movie coming out in a few months? So I bought the book, and I'm like, ooh. But yeah, so I've done that sometimes too.
So that's cool. We both have like different takes on this little the Mist. So to continue with the plot, basically, so we've talked about the Mist comes in, and then you pretty much get thrown into this store. They're kind of locked in this store, and everyone's afraid to leave, and all hell starts to ensue.
Mostly inside rather than outside, like
exactly.
Like we said with the crazy people.
Now,
shit up.
I don't think that it's McBride, right? Her last name,
Melissa McBride.
Yeah, I don't think her character in the movie has a name at all. Does it? Does she?
Nope.
And so she actually ends up leaving. And what's really interesting is you think she's a goner, So we're not going to ruin that either. When
she leaves desperately to rescue her kids who are at home, and she's frantic. And
like, someone come with me, someone help me. No one will help her. Like, fuck that, we're not going out there. But things turn out for her a little different. You'll see. Just check the movie out if you have. You know what we're talking about.
So let's kind of talk more about Stephen King a little bit. Let's try to find some stuff about him, if he was involved in the movie, what his thoughts are. As far as I know, he had absolutely no involvement in the movie. He didn't produce it or, co-write the screenplay or anything like that. And as far as the only other stuff I can find is, like I said, he loved the ending of the movie. He wished he would have put that in the book. Remember, you know how there's this joke with Stephen King how all his movies are set in Maine?
Yeah.
This one was actually filmed in Louisiana, but he couldn't tell the difference, and Frank Darabont, the director, he was like, yes!
Now,
And
Frank Darabont actually wrote the screenplay as well.
yeah, he directed it, wrote the screenplay, and produced
everything.
it. Fun fact, The Mist is actually Frank Darabont's third Stephen King adaptation, as he also did Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile.
I would say he probably is one of the best people that's adapted the books for screen.
He's
I
so
mean,
cool.
sometimes some of their, the Stephen King stuff is like, what the hell? You just slaughtered this,
Not to mention Walking Dead too. He did a good job of adapting. Dude, the guy's just a badass. I love him a lot. I watched an interview with him the other day, and he was in his house interviewing, and he's just got all these like horror movie action figures and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, this guy's so cool.
Yeah, right.
An old 60-year-old dude, and he's a cool guy. So yeah, back to Stephen King.
Well, another fun fact about Stephen King is The Mist wasn't a standalone novel. It was actually in a collection of short stories in the Skeleton Crew.
That's right.
So that's cool. They didn't release this as a standalone novel until
The movie,
I believe.
Is that so?
That's when they did it. Don't hold me 100% positive to that.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it was now the movie's coming out. What the hell, just take the short story and make it.
I read that Stephen King, he was actually frightened when he saw the movie. He was He said he was frightened, and Frank Darabont was very pleased about that. Ooh, I scared Stephen King.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of hard to do, I mean, that guy just is the king of horror.
Yeah. So, let's talk a little bit about some of the technical parts of the movie, like special effects, cinematography. How do you feel about those?
I think obviously any of the creatures in the film are all CGI, but they do a very good well of blending that. Like, the characters react to the CGI very well. Obviously, it's not there when they're shooting the film, so it's added in later. But I think they do a good job of especially the spider scene in the drugstore.
I hate that part. Nightmares.
And I love the part where I didn't do any research on this, but they must have used a mix of special effects that were practical along with CGI, but when they're actually in the back of the supermarket and the tentacle comes in and they end up chopping it with that axe.
Yeah. What I've seen stuff they use so for the CGI stuff like that, they use props. So what they probably did is they had like a big green long tentacle thing like that
kinda
that
like
they
a green
use,
screen.
so and that helps the actors interact with it better. And like what you said, chopping it off with the axe, they use stuff like that a lot. That helps them. So
I also, last thing, and I'll let you get to your little feelings on the special effects, but the very ending scene, that huge monster, man, is just
awesome. Frank Darabont, he initially didn't want to put that in the movie.
Really? I thought it was a good...
Even though it was the most famous, everyone's favorite part of the book, he was a little bit hesitant, but the special effects guys, they talked him into it.
Oh, they did a good job on it, so...
Oh, yeah. I got nothing to say. You pretty much covered everything. I thought they did a good job with special effects and cinematography, so... Like I said, Frank Darabont, he knows what he's doing, that's for sure.
Oh, do we know, how they... Do you know? I don't know, but how do they pull off the mist effect? Do you know?
Probably just a crap load of fog machines and...
Well, because there's scenes where it's totally, you can tell, CGI, fake fog.
I'd say like most of it, more than half
Yeah,
of it.
but there's other scenes where obviously they're outside wandering around, and I don't know if they somehow digitally put that in there as well, or if they just...
Probably like half and half.
Yeah,
like they use fog machines and then to cover some of it, and then the rest they CGI over it. So
for sure.
Is there anything about the movie that you didn't like? Maybe something you felt like they could have done differently?
I don't, because I think he followed the book very well with a few I can't talk today.
Yeah.
A few exceptions, but I can't think of anything that I'm really like
bummed on. It's almost a perfect movie.
Yeah,
He did such a good job.
Exactly. If you brought up like the It made for TV movie or
I actually watched that the other day. I love it.
You love that one as well?
But I haven't read the books, so I can't comment or speculate.
I've read about half of the book, I believe.
Kind
I've
of
never
intimidating.
Finished the full thing.
It's like 1,000 pages, so you're like, ah.
Yeah, you just got to conquer it, I guess. But, you know, I think they did a really good job. I think the director added his own feel in it. So, I mean, I know what you're saying about kind of like it's almost like you're reading the screenplay or something. Reading the book.
Yeah, it's like.
But he also adds his own taste and his own, you know, imagination in it, and it works really well. And I don't really have any qualms with the movie that I can think of right now.
Nothing either.
Except his kid, Billy.
Yeah, kid.
I thought Billy was better in the book.
Mm-hmm. He's a lot more adventurous kind of thing. In the book,
in the movie, he's just kind of
annoying.
Yeah, so, but that happens in a lot of movies, like Felucci's House by the Cemetery. There's a kid in that drives me absolutely fucking nuts. And then there's a kid in The Babadook that I did a review on a while ago. That just, the kid in that, something about little kids in movies, man. If they're whiny, I just want to kill them.
Most are annoying. Very rarely do you find child actors that are tolerable or.
My favorite though is Zombieland. Fuck, what's her name? The young girl.
Wichita?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Abigail Breslin.
Yeah, man.
She's okay, but
I loved her in that movie.
I can't really say that's a kid because she was like 13 in the movie. For me, kids
how old
are
do
like
you
10.
think Billy is in this movie?
Probably like 8. Yeah. So for me, kids, it's like 10 and under. But yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, so fun fact. The plot of The Mist, with the creatures. Government unlocking a dimension to another universe, bringing in all the creatures. It actually inspired the video game Half-Life, which is awesome. Very cool.
We were talking about that last night, and at first I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I started thinking about it. I was like,
exactly.
That's so similar with the whole Arrowhead project.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, what is the project called in Half-Life? Damn, I almost want to say it's called the Arrowhead Project. In the original Half-Life.
I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's not Arrowhead. But
have you played the original Half-Life?
I've played the second one on Xbox, and I love it. One of my
all-time favorite games. We have to go play the original one on PC.
It's better?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of, it's different type of gameplay, but I like it better. But yeah, they're both amazing video games. Oh man, Dimension Films released this.
Oh, is it? Was it?
Yeah, it's Dimension and MGM. That's cool. Dimension they do a lot of horror movies. So I mean, I think they've done the Screams. They did, I believe, Halloween Resurrection.
Oh.
We can talk about that another night. I could do fucking 5 hours on how I hate that movie.
What's your favorite character in the movie and the book? I'll go with Ollie. Ollie's so cool.
Dude, I was just about to say that. Like, seriously. I love that little bald-headed motherfucker.
He's so cool.
Well, just in the movie, that scene where he's like, fucking, he kind of just is at the breaking point. He starts out as a very kind, gentle person.
Mild mannered.
Yeah,
then he starts drinking beers and it kind of turns into an ass. But in a good way.
But at the fucking, at the end, well, not the end, but at the end of his demise, I guess, he's just a badass, He's just like, I love when she pulls that gun out of her purse and she's like, does anyone know how to use this? And he's like, I do. And they're all like, what? He's like, state champion for like 3 years running.
Hey, yeah, dude, he does miss. He's a deadeye, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, I missed Carmody right in the forehead. Ooh.
The stomach.
Oh, is it the stomach?
Yep.
I thought it was the forehead. Why am I thinking the forehead?
Yeah. Which is probably better because she didn't...
Maybe I just want her shot in the forehead.
I know, it's better to shoot her in the stomach because then she doesn't die instantly. She suffers.
Oh, yeah, it is through the stomach because it explodes her milk. That's right. Oh. Yeah.
Sorry for the spoiler if you haven't seen it, but
Yeah,
it
man.
happens.
Yeah, you got to talk about some things in the movie that are
Yeah,
exciting.
exactly. Favorite? Well, since we're not
Well, we're not going to give the end of the movie away, but
since we're not shying from spoilers, do you have a favorite death scene? Or was it comedy?
as much as I hated her, it wasn't. I actually, and as much as I love Ollie, it's his death scene, man.
Oh, he's so
That
sad.
big ass thing just grabs him and rips him apart. And it was sad. It made me like, damn it, no, why does he gotta die?
I remember watching it with you one time when you were drunk. You were drunk off your ass, and you were almost crying. You're like, Ollie, no!
I don't. When was this? We were like 18, 19, 20.
I don't know. I just remember watching it, and you were drunk. And that same time we watched it when you were drunk, the spider scene in the pharmacy, you almost puked.
Well, I hate spiders. I think the most terrifying movie that's ever been made, in my opinion, is Arachnophobia. I can't stand that shit.
My favorite death scene is when the dude he ties the rope around his waist, and isn't he attempting to go get the guy's shotgun or something?
Yeah, he's like, they're going out, and he's like, I'm not going out them, but I seen that shotgun in your truck. He's like, damn, you got balls of steel, son.
Yeah. And so he goes, they tie the rope around his waist just to kind of figure out how far he can get. And the rope starts getting tugged and yanked on, and then it falls, and they pull it back in, and it's only half of him.
You know what? That's actually a really good scene, and I'm going to elaborate on that. Stuff that's frightening to me is what you don't see, and you don't see what happens to him, and you just see the remains, and that was cool.
That was cool. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite scenes.
I think the grossest scene in the movie to me was that MP officer in the drugstore. He's like, that just got me, man. So hey, check this out, The Mist. It's a really short read. You can probably read it in a day or two.
It's only 200 pages.
Well, let's see.
It's like
I got the book right here.
Something.
And it's 230 pages. So
I was close.
You're close. You can get through it.
Yep.
Literally, I think I finished it in a week. And this was when I was in high school, so I was not really a big reader, but I finished it pretty quick because it was that good.
So yeah, great book, great movie. Check them out.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I'm Marcus Swainston.
Craig Sewer.
And we're Horror Junkies of Utah. You guys have a great night.
Thanks.